Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today I want to kind of talk about Overwatch as a game. So I don't know really where this idea came from, but the end of the year's here. You know, it's Christmas Eve right now, and we're getting really close to wrapping up 2017, and we've had Overwatch for a little over a year. I think it's close to like a year and a half. I really forget the release date, but I want to just do like a state of the game, and this is probably something I'm going to do every now and then, not necessarily on like a yearly schedule, but just whenever I feel the need to talk about where the game is at and how it's doing and where I see it going. I think this is where I'll kind of enact this series, and it's something that developers do themselves, you know, where they just hop on or do a state of the game post and just talk about Overwatch or talk about their game specifically. So the state of the game, I wanted to kind of touch on a few points, and maybe in the future, I'm really just ripping on the mic right now, maybe in the future I'll actually put a structured format to this, so forgive me on that note, but I just want to talk about the game and all of my thoughts with it. Overwatch right now is hands down my favorite video game. I have come from all different kinds of games, from third-person console shooters, first-person console shooters, to, you know, like some fighting games in my background. I played League of Legends and a bunch of MOBAs, and then I ended up finding Overwatch. Now, this game is super unique. And I'm not just sitting here talking about the game like as a concept, but I do want to touch on the fact that this game is very different because there's something that I've seen happening with this game that has just taken some time. And I've said this a bunch in videos, so you may have caught this specific word I'm going to use. This game has been evolving since it came out. And I personally, right now at this point in time, don't think that the evolution of Overwatch is over. I don't even think it's halfway done, in my opinion. This game is new. It's very different. It's conceptually, like, brilliant in my eyes. You know, it's a MOBA kinda, team shooter kinda, FPS kinda, you know, it doesn't fit any of those. It's very arcadey in nature, but there's so much to master and there's so much you can learn, and I really respect the development. And a part of me feels like it's a beautiful accident, you know, like a part of me feels like they set out to create something really cool and they knew what they were looking for, but then this just fell on them, you know, like it fell into place, the game that they have and how good you could get at it and how much there is to learn and the little intricacies of all the heroes and all the animations and things like that. So the reason I'm bringing this up when talking about the state of the game is that I don't think the game even knows, or the developers even know, where the game should be right now, in my opinion. I think that they're learning along the way, they're taking community feedback, they're listening to the pro scene, they're developing their pro scene, and all along the way there are things that they need to learn. So in terms of the state of the game of Overwatch, I want to say that we are in one of the best places that Overwatch has been since its launch, and also one of the worst. And that seems amazingly contradictory, but I really want to touch on it. When Overwatch first came out, there was absolutely no structure to the game. There was no competitive mode, there was no hero limit. It was just this mash of heroes in these cool environments and cool maps, and it was exhilarating. It was so fun, and everybody loved it, and it almost feels like the experience I got back then was better than the experience I'm getting now, and yet I'm missing so many of the things that I would not even want to play this game without. You know, for example, the competitive mode and the hero limit, like I said before. If you didn't play this game when there was no hero limit, just trust me on this one, it was not fun. There was Winstons all over the place, there was Lucios, there's double Tracer, people were running double Torbjorn. It was very frustrating to play whenever people pulled strategies and stuff like that out. But the game was so new and it was so fun and everybody was really enjoying it. Now, the things that I think are hurting the game right now is the competitive mode, and I'm going to kind of circle back to that because I guess I want to kind of start positively. Maybe I shouldn't have even started that sentence, but the things that I'm really loving about the game is the balance. I'm loving the heroes. Every hero release more or less has been great. I mean, at very least I like the concept of the heroes. Like, I really like Doomfist. I don't know what to do with Doomfist, in my opinion. I thought about making an entire video about how to make him viable and how to make him good, but I think Doomfist will always and forever be one of those heroes that is either considered overpowered or very underpowered. There is no mix between a hero like that, and that's fine from a development standpoint. The problem is, like, where do they want to fall on him, you know, or maybe they just change him up a lot. Like, I think personally, a new ultimate for Doomfist would change him in a pretty good way, and I'm gonna make a video on that in the future. I keep saying that and I never get around to it, so hopefully I'll talk about my Doomfist ult idea that I think could really help out the hero. But every character more or less that's come out I've really enjoyed, especially with the newest edition of Moira, because the game was desperately in need of a healer, and not just a healer, we needed Moira. Like, the way she plays, how fun and smooth she is, everything about Moira to me is just perfect. Like, I love her. I mean, I think she's pretty strong, but I don't think she fits exactly in every team comp like I originally had kind of thought. And just as a hero design, I think they did a really like knockout job with her, and I couldn't be more happy. Since I'm touching on hero releases, I would like to say that I think because of the way this game works, I would like to see the frequency go up. You know, maybe if it's even just like 1 or 2 more a year than the current schedule, where like maybe one hero releases 3 months out, and then the next one's 2 months out, and then the following one's 3 months out or 4 months out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if every 3 months is a good way to do it, but that doesn't really bother me. And you know, the rate of their content is pretty good. I'd like to see a little bit more maps, maybe another game mode, although I think the game modes are pretty solid, and I don't really think that they need to bring out more game modes that come out in competitive. Maybe just some more fun stuff. And definitely, like I've said on the channel here before, I would love to see them come out with more competitive modes. I think that would be a great way for them to diversify the competitive experience. It would you know, put the competitive points in different places so people felt like they could play the game type that they liked to earn competitive points. And ultimately, I think it could breed new communities and new kind of like niches within the Overwatch community as a whole. So I mean, personally, free-for-all competitive, I don't think I would be that good at it because I lose a lot of free-for-all games, but I win a lot as well whenever I'm like serious about it. And I think that could be a really fun mode. You know, I've talked about having to play the meta of the lobby in free-for-all, and I think something like that is really cool and could be really cool for the game. And so we'll see. And they've talked about it, they've toyed with it with Lucio Ball, so we'll see. So I need to kind of bring myself back around. The things that I think are hurting the game right now is the competitive mode and the lack of structure, and I need to word this properly. I don't want to say, and I think this is important to even note, I'm not just saying this out loud so I can get my own thoughts. I think it's important to put this into words so that you understand where I'm coming from and maybe can find a way to agree with me or disagree with me, and we can start the dialogue on this. I don't want to say that the problem is the community. The fact is, I think the lack of development that allows the community to do some of the things that they do is what hurts the game. So it's not the one-tricking, it's not the throwers, or, you know, it's nothing like that is the problem. It is, but it's because the game allows these things. It's because the developers have not condemned these actions or put any systems or rules or things in place to stop it. And if I've learned anything in the 25 years I've been alive, people will do things that they want to do. They will do what they want. And I don't blame them for that, because I do the same thing. I think we all do to a certain extent. You know, if you really enjoy something, or if you don't enjoy something, you're going to make the scenario that you're put into, especially if it's a game that you enjoy, like something you genuinely like, you're going to make that scenario like profitable and worth it for you. So if you love to play Genji, I'm speaking to myself here, you're gonna play Genji, you know, and that's what I like to do, and that's what I do a lot of the time. And you can't blame people for that. You can't do anything about it. If they have throws in their game, hopefully they can find a way to get rid of it. Hopefully they can incentivize, winning more. And I think the change to performance-based, kind of the matchmaking or the performance-based SR gain is going to be a nice change for the future. It's a small change. I think it can have some really big impact. And if you haven't heard about that, if I just want to recap on that, essentially for Diamond Plus ranks, your performance individually will not affect your skill rating at all. And I think this is huge because it makes the focus winning, and I hope it just does it enough. I hope it, winning is enough of the focus that, people actually try. And essentially, I just want the game to be serious. I want it to feel structured. I want it to be the game that it physically is, that you can boot up and play and have a great 6-on-6 competitive experience. But you know, it often feels like we don't get that. So, and I don't have the answer. You know, I'm not the developer that knows what they need to do. I'm not, you know, an analyst of you know, society and of psychology and things like that. I don't know why people do what they do, other than the fact that I think it's just what they want to do. And so I hope that there's a way for them to create a very serious setting and a very serious scenario out of kind of the game that we have now. So I guess I'll go ahead and start wrapping this up. I feel like I've been repeating myself a little bit. Like I said, a lot of the style of videos I do is just really me talking and getting my thoughts out there. And I gotta be honest, I've been thinking about trying to change up the content some, but I just love doing this, and this is what I like to do. I really like to talk. I could be on 10 podcast shows and I don't know if I would be satisfied. You know, I would just still love to do more. So what do you think about Overwatch as a game? What is holding the game back for you? I mean, and I say I'm starting to ask questions in these videos now because I really love the interaction. What's holding the game back for you? What do they need to do to, you know, to win? Like, what's the condition where Overwatch just becomes the best game? In my opinion, it's close. You know, for me, it's my favorite game. I get so frustrated with it, and yet I keep coming back for more. Why is that? I can tell you, it's literally just I love what they've built. I want more. I want more community options. I want, you know, to be able to build a team or a clan in game where we could create a community of, you know, Blackwatch Intel, you know, agents to play the game with on the game and not have to, you know, just add up a full friends list. I want to see something developed like that. I want there to be a role queue. I want there to be, you know, better report options and more punishment for people. I specifically want there to be no one-tricking, although I don't think we're going to see that happen ever. I want so much more for this game. I want it to be the game that, like I said, it physically is. You know when you play Overwatch and you have a really good game, and I don't mean you individually as, you know, your performance, but you know that feeling. I'm just trying to resonate with you when you queue up and you're playing against another team that is just giving you everything they've got, and your team is giving everything they've got. You have the communication and y'all are just working so hard. I get those games maybe 1 in every 25 matches, and yet the skill of all the people around me is there. It's just, I feel like everybody's beat down and they're broken and they don't want to try anymore, and it's really hurting the game. That, and I want to reiterate on this really quickly, I think it's hurting the game that the lack of development for a very serious version of this game, whether it be role queue or just getting people to see and work together. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I think that's what's holding the game back. So that's my thoughts. I love Overwatch. I'm not going anywhere in terms of being a content creator and playing this game. I get frustrated. I've even taken a season off and I've thought about it 1,000 times, but I'm humble and I'm honest. This is my favorite game. It pisses me off, but I want it to be better. And that's why I think I wanted to make the state of the game, you know, the state of Overwatch. So again, in the comment section down below, answer some of my questions. What do you think? What's going on in your head as an Overwatch player? What do you need for the game to be better? Let me know. I appreciate you for checking out this video, and I'll see you on the next video.